Welcome you all again. So in this particular topic, we are again going to discuss about the DC circuit. So in previous lecture, we have discussed about the different terms associated in DC circuit, like what is a node, what is a junction, what is a mesh, what is a loop, and we have also discussed about the Kirchhoff's current law and Kirchhoff's voltage law. In this particular lecture, we will discuss about the different combination of the circuit, like how the series resistance is calculated, how the equivalent resistance is calculated if circuits are connected in the parallel. And we will also discuss about the nodal analysis, and we'll also discuss about the mesh analysis. So first of all, we are going to discuss how to find the equivalent series resistance. So in series circuit, a number of resistors are connected end to end so that same current flows through them is called series circuit. So here you can see in the figure, there is a three resistance, that is R1, R2 and R3, all are connected in series. And these all three resistance are connected across the supply voltage, that is denoted by V. So because all the resistance are connected in the series, so current flowing through all these three resistance is the same, that is current is I. So here you can see the voltage drop V1 will be the across the resistance R1, and voltage drop V2 is across the resistance R2, and voltage drop V3 will be across the R3. So here you can write, because this total voltage applied across these three resistors, V can be written as V equal to V1 plus V2 plus V3. So this V1 can be written as I into R1, this V2 can be written as I into R2, and this V3 can be written as I into RB. Let this R be the total resistance of the circuit. So what will be the voltage across this equivalent resistance R1, R2, R3, which is denoted by R. So it can be written V is equal to I into R. So IR is equal to what? IR1 plus IR2 plus IR3. So here you can see these I terms are common on the left hand side and the right hand side. So this can be cancelled out. So what will be the resistance R? R equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3. So you can say total resistance of the circuit is equal to the sum of the individual resistance if all the resistance are connected in series. So this is about the series circuit. Now what are the application of this series circuit? So you must have observed that for decoration purpose, where number of the low voltage lamps are connected in series, in this circuit all the lamps are controlled by a single switch and they cannot be controlled individually. Suppose there are 50 number of the bulbs are connected in the series, and if you want to switch off all the bulbs, just you switch off the one bulb, so automatically it will be switch off all the bulb, because all bulbs are connected in series. And second application is in domestic, commercial and industrial wiring system, the main switch and fuse are connected in series to provide the necessary control and protection. Because if it is connected in the series, so whatever the current flowing through the circuit will also pass through the fuse. So in case of suppose fault, the huge amount of current flows in the circuit, so this current will also flows through the fuses. So what will happen? Because high amount of the current will flow through the fuse, so huge heat will be developed. So this fuse will be broken out. So this fuse will protect the whole circuit of the house. Next is parallel circuit. In the circuit, one end of the resistor is connected to a common point and other ends are also joined to the another common point. So the different current flows through the term is called parallel circuit. So this total current I can be written as I1 plus I2 plus I3. So this I is equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3. So this is a voltage applied across this circuit V, and this resistance R1 and R2, R3 are connected in the parallel. So what will be the current I1, because all this V is connected across R3, R2 and R3. So voltage applied across all the resistance are the same. So I1 is equal to what? This V divided by R1, and current I2 flowing through this resistance is equal to what? Voltage V divided by R2. Similarly, current I3 is equal to what? V upon R3. Let assume the total resistance of this circuit is R. So total current flowing through this circuit is equal to what? I equal to V upon R. So this I is replaced by B upon R. So B upon R is equal to what? B upon R1 plus B upon R2 plus B upon R3. So here V is common on the both the side, left hand side and right hand side. So it will be cancelled out. So 1 upon R is equal to what? 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2 plus 1 upon R3. So reciprocal of total resistance is equal to the sum of reciprocal of the individual resistances. It is to be noted that all the appliances are operated at the same voltage, and therefore all of them are connected in parallel. Each one of them can be controlled individually with the help of the separate switch. So this is all about the series circuit and parallel circuit. Now another combination may be of the series and parallel circuits. Here you can see this circuit is an example of the series and parallel circuit. So here basically these two resistance R1 and R2 are connected in the parallel between terminal A and B, and again there is a three resistance R1, R2 and R3 are connected in between terminal B and C. So first of all you find the equivalent resistance between A and P, and equivalent resistance between A and B is equal to what? This RAB, that means it can be denoted as 1 upon RAB is equal to what? 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2. So this RAB can be written as R1 R2 upon R1 plus R2. Right? Then you have to find the equivalent resistance between this B terminal and C terminal. So it can be denoted as, suppose, R suffix BC. So 1 upon RBC is equal to what? 1 upon R3, 1 upon R4 plus 1 upon R5. So by the just taking the common here, this R3, R4, R5, it is R3 plus R4 plus R4 plus R into R5 plus R5 into R3. So this is how you can find the equivalent resistance between B and C. So this RBC is equal to what? R3, R4, R5 upon R3, R4 plus R4, R5 plus R5, R3. Now you have calculated the equivalent resistance between terminal A and B, and you have also calculated equivalent resistance between B and C. Now because these two equivalent resistance RAB and RBC are connected in series, so what you will do? Just you add these two equivalent resistance RAB and RBC. So total or effective resistance of circuit can be written as R equal to RAB plus RBC. So this is how you can calculate the equivalent resistance if circuit have a combination of series and parallel circuit. Now we have to understand the current division rule. So here you can see there is a two resistance are connected in the parallel, R1 and R2, and total current flowing through this circuit is I, and this current I is divided as I1 and I2. This I1 current is flowing through resistance R1, and this I2 current is flowing through R2, and the voltage applied across this circuit is V. So the current I has been divided into I1 and I2 into two parallel branches with the resistance R1 and R2, and V is the voltage drop across the resistance R1 and R2. Hence the current in each branch of the parallel circuit is inversely proportional to its resistance. The value of branch current can also be expressed in terms of the total circuit current, that is I1 into R1, that means voltage across this branch is equal to what? I1 into R1, because both are connected in the same, so voltage is same. So this I1 R1 is equal to what? I2 into R2, and if equivalent resistance across this branch is R, so this B can be written as I into R. So you can denote I1 into R1 equal to I2 into R2 equal to I into R which is equal to V. So what is this R? Because R is the equivalent resistance if two resistors are connected in the parallel. So 1 upon R is equal to 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2, or you can say R is equal to what? R1 R2 upon R1 plus R2. So voltage drop across branch 1 is equal to I1 into R1, or you can say IR. So just put the value of this R in this particular equation. So this is equal to I into R1 upon R2, R1 into R2 upon R1 plus R2. So I1 can be written as I1 equal to what? This R1 will be divided by this total numerator. So I1 is equal to what? I into R2 upon R1 plus R2. Similarly, you can also calculate the current flowing through the second branch, that is I2 is equal to what? I multiplied by R1 upon R1 plus R2. So here you can note that, so current division rule says that current in any of the parallel branch is equal to the ratio of the opposite branch resistance to the total resistance multiplied by the total current flowing through the circuit, right? So this is how you can apply the current division rule. Now second rule is a voltage division rule. Here you can see in the figure there is a applied voltage is E, which is connected between A and D, and there is a two resistance R1 and R2 are connected in the series, and these two resistance are connected in series with the supply voltage E. Now you have to find the voltage drop across this R1 and voltage drop across R2 by the voltage division rule. So voltage division rule can be understood by considering a series circuit shown below. In a series circuit, voltage is divided whereas current remains the same. So E1 can be calculated like this ER1 upon R1 upon R2. Basically this is a current. So total current is what of this particular branch? E upon R1 upon R2. So this E upon R1 upon R2 is the current, just multiplied by this resistance R1. So it will be the voltage E1 across resistance R1. Similarly, you can calculate the voltage across BC, that is E2. So voltage across a resistor in a series circuit is equal to the value of that resistor times the total impressed voltage across the series element divided by the total resistance of the series element. So this is how you can apply the voltage division rule in any circuit. Now we have to understand the nodal voltage analysis method. So here you can see the nodal voltage analysis is a method to solve the electrical network. It is used where it is essential to compute all branches current, like you have to find the branch current I1, I2, I4, I3, I5. So if you want to calculate the different branch current, so nodal voltage analysis can be applied in this particular circuit. The nodal voltage analysis method determines the voltage and current by using the nodes of the circuit. So here you can see there is one node is A, another node is B, and this node C and D is basically is at same potential, or you can say it is a reference node. So potential of this node D is equal to the potential at node C. So you can say this, suppose it is denoted as V suffix D and this is denoted as B suffix C. So B suffix D is equal to V suffix D. So there are different steps to solving the network by the nodal voltage analysis method. So what you have to do, considering the above circuit diagram, the following steps are explained. First step is what? Identify the various nodes in the given circuit and mark them in the given circuit. So we have marked in this particular circuit as node A and B, these two nodes. Step 2 is select one of the nodes as the reference or the zero potential nodes at which a maximum number of elements are connected is taken as a reference node. In this given figure, node D, this node D is taken as a reference node. Let the voltage at node A and B be denoted as B suffix A and B suffix B respectively. And third step is now you apply the KCL at different nodes. So here you can see just you have to apply the KCL at node A and KCL at node B. So here you can see at node A there is a 3 outgoing current. This current is I1 and this current is I2 and this current is I3. So as per the Kirchhoff's current law state that the algebraic sum of current at any particular node or junction is equal to 0, or you can say the incoming current is equal to the outgoing current. So at this particular node all current are the outgoing current. That means I1 plus I2 plus I3 is equal to 0. Now you have to find the value of this current I1. So what will be the current I1? Current always flows through the due to the potential difference. So because current is flowing from A to B, so current is I equal to what? VA minus V1 divided by resistance of this branch. So resistance of this branch is what? R1. So I1 can be written as VA minus V1 upon R1. Now second current is what? I2. I2 is equal to what? VA minus VD upon R2. So VD is a reference node and this value of this reference node is taken as 0. So net voltage is what? VA minus VD, that is VA only. So I2 can be denoted as VA upon R2. And I3 equal to what? I3 equal to, because current is flowing from A to B, that means potential of this node is higher than potential of this node V. So current always flow from higher potential to lower potential. So I3 can be written as VA minus VV upon R3. So here after the simplification you can write this equation VA in bracket 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2 plus 1 upon R3 minus V suffix B upon R3 equal to V upon R1. Now you have applied the KCL at node A. Now you have to apply KCL at node B. Here you can see that this I3 is incoming current and I5 is also incoming current and I4 is outgoing current. So as per the KCL, incoming current is equal to the outgoing current, or algebraic sum of the current is equal to 0. So incoming current can be denoted as negative current and outgoing current can be denoted as positive current. So this is an incoming current. So minus I3 plus I4 minus I5 is equal to 0. And what will be the value of I3? Because current is flowing from A to B. So I3 can be written as VA minus VV upon R3. And I4 current is flowing through node B to node C, or you can say node D, which is a reference node, or you can say 0 voltage. So I4 is equal to what? V suffix B divided by resistance R4. And I5 is what? I5 is current flowing from this voltage source B2 to VV, that is node B. So I5 can be written as B2 minus VV upon R5. So just put the value of I3, I4 and I5 in this equation. So now you have two equation, and after the solving these two equation you can easily find out the value of VA and VV, because you have two equation and you have two unknown value. So you can easily calculate the value of this VA and VV. So this is how you can apply the node analysis node method in any particular circuit. Now it can again be understood by taking one example. So here you can see in the diagram there is a 3 mesh are here, like this mesh, another mesh is this one, and third mesh is this one. So here just you have to apply the node analysis. So again there is a 2 node, one is A, this is B, and this is a common node where number of the branches are connected. So just you apply the KCL at node A. So KCL at node A, that means this I1 is a incoming current and this I2 is also incoming current and this I is outgoing current. So it can be written as I1 plus I2 is equal to I, and what will be the value of I1? I1 is equal to what? This potential, that means 0, minus, just because current is flowing from this direction to this direction. So it is understood, that means potential of this node is higher than potential of this node. So you can write 0 minus VA upon 4. And I2 is equal to what? Current is flowing from A terminal to B terminal. That means potential of this terminal A is higher than potential of this terminal VV. So I2 can be written as 15 minus VA upon 5, and IE, and this current I can be written as VA minus VB upon 10. And this current I2 is equal to what? This current is equal to, because current is flowing from this direction to this direction, 15 minus VA upon 5. So just this is how you can apply the KCL at node A. Similarly, you have to apply KCL at this node B. So just apply the KCL at node B. This is the incoming current I, and this I4 and I3 is the outgoing current. So I is equal to incoming current is equal to the outgoing current. I is equal to I4 plus I3. And what is the I? I is equal to what? VA minus VB upon 10. You can see here. I is equal to VA minus VB upon 10. And this I4 is equal to what? Because current is flowing from B to 30 voltage source. That means this potential is higher. So this I4 is BB minus 30 upon 4. And I3 is equal to what? V suffix B minus 0 upon 6. So again, just after the simplification, you can solve this equation. There is a two unknown value, that's V and VV. Just apply the algebraic equation, and you can easily solve this equation, and you can find the value of the VA and VV. So VA is equal to 8.39 volt and VV is equal to 16.14 voltage. Now you have all the potential. So now you can easily calculate all the branches current. Like suppose you have to find the current I1. So I1 is equal to what? 0 minus VA upon 4. So I1 is equal to what? Just 0 minus VA, and VA is what? Is equal to what? 8.39. So 0 minus 8.39 divided by 4. Now you have to suppose find the value of the current I. So I is equal to what? VA minus VB upon 10. And what is the VA? 8.39, and VB is equal to what? 16.14. So just put the value here. Here you can see this current is denoted as minus 0.775. So what is the indication of this minus sign is what? Because we are assuming that current is flowing from A to B. But if we are assuming that current is flowing from A to B, this minus term is coming. That means we have assumed the wrong direction of the current. So in the conclusion you can say the current was originally flowing from B to A. So this current of I is equal to 0.775 from B to A terminal. Now we have to understand the Maxwell current method, or this is also called loop analysis. In this method, mesh or loop current are taken instead of the branch current, as in the Kirchhoff's law. The following steps are taken while solving the network by this method. So first is what? The whole network is divided into a number of meshes, like mesh 1, mesh 2, mesh 3. Each mesh is assigned to a current having continuous path. So this current, loop current, is assigned I1. This current is assigned I2. This mesh current is assigned I3. The common branch carries the algebraic sum of the mesh current flowing through it. So suppose you have to find out the current flowing this particular branch R2. So current flowing through this branch R2 is equal to what? The algebraic sum of the current, algebraic sum of the loop current. That means two loop current are flowing through this R2. Let's assume this I1 current is higher than this current I2. So current flowing through this resistance R2 is equal to what? I1 minus I2. Similarly, if you have to calculate the current flowing through this resistance R4, and just you assume this I2 is more than I3, so current flowing through this R4 is equal to what? I2 minus I3. If this I3 is higher than R2, then current flowing through this R4 is equal to what? I3 minus I2. Now second step is just write the KVL equation for each mesh using the same signs as applied to the Kirchhoff's law. And third step is number of the equation must be equal to the number of the unknown quantities, and solve the equations and determine the mesh current. Here you can see, because there is a 3 mesh, 1, 2 and 3. So in the mesh, just apply in the A, B, F, E, A. So just apply here. So current, this voltage V1, V1 minus I1 R1 minus I1 in I1 minus I2 into R2 is equal to 0. So what you have to take care when you are calculating in mesh 1. So just you assume that this current is I1 is higher than the another loop current. So you assume this I1 is higher, so net current will be what? I1 minus I2, and this net current will flow through this direction. So if you are applying the KVL in this equation, so this minus 2 plus is plus V1 minus I1 R1 minus I1 minus I2 into R2 is equal to 0. So V1 is equal to what? I1 R1 plus I1 minus I2 into R2. Now you apply the KVL in BC, G, F, B. So again you can apply the KVL. So what will be the value of this in this mesh? This will be the I2 R3 minus I2 minus I3 into R4 plus I2 minus I1 into R2 is equal to 0. After the simplification, you can write the equation in this form. And this one is applied in third mesh, that is CDHG. So here you can see this current, this one, applying the KVL in the mesh CDHGC, that can be written as I3 into R5 plus B2 plus I3 minus I2 into R4 equal to 0. After the simplification, you can write the equation in this form. So again you have a 3 equation and you have a 3 unknown value. So there is 3 equation and 3 unknown values. So after the solving this equation, you can easily find the value of the current I1, I2 and I3. By knowing the mesh current, we can determine the various voltage and current in the circuit. And this all 3 equations can also be written in the matrix form. So you can see this R1 R2 plus minus R2 into 0 minus R2 R2 plus R3 plus R4 minus R4. So just after these values are taken from the equation number 1, 2 and 3, and this current is I1, I2, I3 is the loop current, and this voltage is V1 is applied in the mesh 1, and in the mesh 2 you can see there is a no voltage. Here you can see there is a no voltage source in the mesh 2, that's why this is 0, and in the mesh 3 this voltage is V2. So after applying the Cramer rule, you can easily find out the value of the I1, I2 and I3. Here it can be understood by taking some very simple example. Here you can see there is a 2 mesh are here only, that is A, B, E, F, A, and second is B, C, D, E, A. So just apply the KVL in A, B, E, F, A. So here you can see, because current is flowing in this direction, there will be drop. This drop can be written as minus 2 into I1. Again here, because there is a 2 loop current are there, and we are assuming this I1 current is higher than this current I2. So net current is I1 minus I2 will flow in this direction. So it can be written as minus 6 I1 in minus I2, this one, voltage drop across 6 ohm resistance. Again, because there is a plus to minus, so again there is a also drop, it can be denoted as minus 6. Again this is minus 2 plus, so it can be written as plus 10. So after the solving this equation, you can write 8 I1 minus 6 I2 is equal to 4. Now just you apply the KVL in B, C, D, E, B. Here you can see there is a current I2 is flowing in this direction, so there is a drop minus 3 into I2. Again there is a plus 2 minus, so it can be written as minus 2. In this particular branch, there is a 6 ohm resistance, and net current is what? I2 minus I1. We are assuming this I2 current is more than I2, so of course net current will flow upward direction. So there will be a drop due to this 6 ohm resistance, and it can be written as minus 6 multiplied by I2 minus I1. and again there is a voltage source and its sign is minus to plus, it will be denoted as plus. So after the solving this equation you can write minus 6I1 plus 9I2 is equal to 4. So after the solving this equation you can these two equations you can easily solve, and easily you can calculate the value of the current I1 and I2. If you are able to calculate the current I1 and I2 and it is asked just find out the voltage drop across this 2 ohm resistance. So what will be the voltage drop across this 2 ohm resistance? Just that means you have to find out the voltage across any particular resistance. You have to know the value of the current, and what is the value of the current flowing through this branch is equal to I1, and I1 you have already calculated, just multiplied by I1 into 2. So this is a voltage drop across this 2 ohm resistance. Suppose it is asked what is the heat losses occurs in this 2 ohm resistance. So heat is what? I square R. That means here will be the heat losses is equal to what? I1 square into R, and R is 2 and I1 is already calculated. So if you are able to calculate the value of the I1, I2, then you can easily calculate the value of the voltage, you can easily calculate the power losses across all the resistance. Now we have to discuss about the delta star transformation. So here you can see this is a delta connection and this is a star connection. So considering a circuit shown in the figure where 3 resistors RAB, RBC and RCA are connected in the delta, this circuit is converted to a star connection circuit as shown in the figure B. This is delta connection, this is star connection. Let the resistance is denoted in a star is RA, RB and RC. For the two circuit to be equivalent, the resistance measured between any two of the terminals A, B and C must be the same in the two cases. So suppose RAB between terminal A and B. So the resistance between AB, RAB for the star connection is equal to the resistance between this between terminal A and B in delta connection. So RAB for star connection is equal to RAB for the delta connection. So RAB in star connection can be calculated in this way, because this RA plus RB is equal to what? This RAB in parallel with this RBC plus RCA. So you can easily calculate by simplification. This RA plus RB can be denoted by this equation. Similarly, you can calculate it in between B and C, that RB plus RB C can be written by this equation. Similarly, you can calculate the equivalent resistance between terminal C and B, RCA, which is denoted as equation 3. RC plus RA can be written as RCA multiplied by RAB plus RBC divided by RCA plus RAB plus RBC. So subtracting equation number 2 from and 1 and adding the result to in equation 3, then you can calculate the value of this RA. This RA can be calculated by this way. Similarly, you can calculate it RB. Similarly, you can calculate it the RC. So here you can note down that resistance of any arm of the star connection, this one RA. So RA is equal to what? Product of the two adjacent resistance A, that means adjacent resistance means what? RA is equal to what? RAB multiplied by RCA plus summation of the all resistance, that is RAB plus RCA plus RBC. Here you can see. Similarly, suppose you have to calculate RB. So RB is equal to what? RAB into RBC upon RAB plus RCA plus RBC. Similarly, RC can be calculated as product of this RCA upon RBC upon RAB plus RBC plus RCA. Next and last is star delta connection. How you can convert star into delta connection. So for the replacement of star connected network, it can be written as this one equation, dividing equation 3 by the equation 4 as in the previous slide. So you can write RA upon RB is equal to RCA upon RBC, or you can write RCA is equal to RA into RBC upon this RBC. So similarly, you can write this equation RA upon RC, and after getting this equation 2 and just substituting the value of this RCA and RAB in equation 5 and reshuffling the equation, you can easily calculate the resistance this RAC, RCA and RB. So here you can note down, suppose you have to find this RAB. So RAB is equal to what? RA plus RB multiplied by RA upon RB upon RC. So this is how you can calculate the RCA also. So RCA is equal to what? This RC plus RA plus RC into RA upon RB. So resistance of an arm of delta is equal to what? Sum of the star resistances connected across the arm and product of the same two resistance divided by the third. So this is how you can calculate the equivalent resistance in star delta connection and delta star connection, and you can simply convert star into delta connection and delta into star connection. So all these basic transformation will be applied when you will analyze the some complicated circuit. So all these will be applied, star into delta, delta into star, how to convert current source into voltage source and voltage source into current source. So this is all about this particular lecture. In this particular lecture, we have discussed about the series connection, parallel connection, and we have also discussed the nodal analysis and mesh analysis and how we can convert star into delta connection and delta into star connection. Thank you so much.